Hello everyone. Today we're going to start with the module 2. So we have in the module 1 we have studied about the SCR, its anode cathode characteristics, then gate characteristic, turning on off mechanisms, different application using R and RC triggering and UJT. So here in this module is another one more application, that is the phase control converter. So we'll go in detail study. So before getting into the phase control converter, so we need to know the how we are controlling the phases here. So for that we'll go with this one. So if your SCR has been arranged like this way, and when we give a AC input to it, and the arrangement of SCR in this way, so we definitely get a DC output. As we have the topic name says, the rectifier, we are converting the AC to DC. So how it will be the outputs? So when we give an AC supply, and when we have an arrangement like this way, and when we give an output, we are expecting DC output, and the output will be, the current will be positive and the voltage will be the positive here. So next, this is the arrangement has been in such a way that we can have input, AC input, and DC we are getting output when we have such kind of arrangement, and we have a circuits output in such a way that the current is constant, or we say it is a positive throughout the process, and the voltage will vary from minus etc to plus etc, so that we can say that voltage can be negative and positive. Hence the name to the phase control rectifier. So we are here controlling the phase in terms of the voltages. So earlier it was a one quadrant converter, here it was a two quadrant converter. So that one application will be a rectifier, another will be the inverter. So that what we are getting it in terms of the inverter application. So one quadrant and a fourth quadrant. Next, if the arrangement is like this, so that one is in this another in the opposite direction, we can have a four quadrant converter application. So how that the current might vary from minus ID to plus ID, and the voltage will vary from minus EDC to plus EDC. So here we get a one converter rectifier, another is a converter inverter, another here the rectifier converter, another is the inverter converter. So that we have two inverter application and two rectifier applications, so that we can use this one. So that was the use of the SCR. So from here we studied about one quadrant, two quadrant, and a four quadrant. Now the first application is the single phase half wave controlled rectifier with R load. So what is here? This is same as what we studied in the half wave rectifier. Same as what we studied in the half wave rectifier. So what we are doing, the same, the transformer, the 230 volts 50 hertz supply that is provided, and with the step down transformer we are giving a voltage to the anode to gate, and it is connected to the R with respect to the R load, and across which we are taking an EDC. So what is this? The circuit has been analyzed by the supply E, and that's the EA is equals to EM sine omega t, and it is assumed that peak supply voltage never exceeds the forward and reverse clocking ratings of the thyristor. Okay, so what is happening here? The positive half cycle, the supply of the supply voltage, the thyristor anode is made positive, and with respect to cathode is negative. This is negative, this is positive. So unless and until we provide a gate voltage to it, it will not work. Till then it will be blocking whatever the voltage it is. Once the thyristor has been fired with some angle alpha, at what interval, what we require, if the alpha has been given here, the whatever the voltage is being given is applied to the load. So since it is a zero reactant source, like we have just a voltage converter which is a pure load, we don't have anything other than the inductor, just a step down transformer. The current waveform after the thyristor is triggered will be identical to the applied voltage. So now the current is flowing through heat and it is directed up to the some voltage here. So what is whatever the peak voltage has been given has been provided the same, just only the alpha has been triggered off. Only the duration what is required that will trigger off. We can look at the waveform here. This is the supply voltage what we have provided, and we have given a triggering pulse after this one, this alpha. So only this is the peak voltage with the Vm will be the same across the thing. What is the one factor is that the voltage has been given only this much here, this strangled. So this is the load current, it will be decreasing here, and this is across the SCR. Till here until it's triggered it will be the same as the supply voltage. After that it will pass this time of voltage, and after here it will become reverse bias, so it become not contact here till the next triggering pulse has been given. So this is the half wave, so only one cycle has been used here. So what is happening here, the load current will flow unless and until it is commutated by reversal of the supply voltage at omega is equals to pi, omega t is equals to. Now the angle pi minus alpha, so that is the pi minus alpha during which the thyristor conductor is called as the conduction angle. This is the triggering angle and this is the conduction angle. By varying the firing angle alpha, the output voltage can be controlled here. So how much if you want to trigger it here, you can vary the conduction angle with respect to the alpha. That's the alpha is the triggering angle. During the period of conduction, the voltage across the device is in the order of volts. During the negative cycle, the thyristor blocks the flow of a load current and no voltage is applied to the load, and this is the waveform. Now if we instead of R we use the RL load, what will occur? So now during the positive half cycle of the supply voltage, the thyristor is made positive. That is as common what we do with respect to, and the anode is positive, cathode is negative. And when the unless and until the gate pulse is properly is given, it blocks the flow of load current in the forward direction. When thyristor is fired at alpha angle, the full supply of the voltage is applied to the load. Now at the instant t01, that we can see it in the graph, when the thyristor is triggered, the load current will increase in the infinite time through the inductive load. The supply voltage from this instant applies across the load. Due to the inductive load, the increase in the current is gradual. The energy is stored in the inductor during the time interval t0. At T1, the supply voltage reverses, but the thyristors keep conducting. This is due to the fact that current through the inductor cannot be reduced to zero. So that's the use of this inductor. You can see it here in the graph. When it is the supply has been given here, we get it triggered at this angle. So that time the thyristor starts to allow the load current and the voltage across it. So at this instant it will start. But what is happening in the current? The voltage will be little reduced to zero and it will be increased. But what is happening here? It will start to increase here. From zero, it is the inductor will start to increase up to this value, and it will be decreasing after the supply has been reached to the negative. And this we call it as the beta, alpha, beta, and this is the pi. So during negative half cycle, the current continues to flow till the energy is stored in the inductance. So it will continuously flow to energy stored in the inductor is dissipated. So what is happening? The current is reducing after when its negative voltage has been provided in the negative half cycle, and the part of the energy is fed back to the source. So this is the thing. Due to the energy stored in the inductor, the current continuously to flow up to the instant T11, and at the instant T11 the load current is 0, and due to the negative half supply voltage the thyristor turns off. So it is the extra time which will be taken where the thyristor is made of. At instant T02, that is this one again, when again pulse is applied, the above cycle again repeats. So what is happening here? Till here it is made 0, but it will take extra more of time from T11 to T1 to T11, and this is what the conductor is trying to reduce. So this is the effect of inductive load increases in the conduction period of the SCR. So this will add pi plus B. So if you want to add some extra conduction period, that's the angle, conduction angle, so that time we make a use of this inductance. Now we are implementing the diode, but why do we require? First thing, one of the most of the half or the uncontrolled, we usually use a diode step. It is usually described as the commutating diode, flywheel diode, or bypass diode. This diode is commonly described as the commutator diode, as its function is to commutate or transfer load current away from the rectifier, and the load voltage goes into the reverse state, because we've seen that so a small amount of a voltage has been decreased and it goes into the reverse state here due to the presence of an inductor. It prevents the reversal of the load voltage except for a small voltage drop. So that's one of the function of the diode. And also it transfers the load current away from the main rectifier, therefore allowing all of its resistors to regain their blocking state. So that it can regain its blocking state means it has to make it off. If any load current goes back to the rectifier circuit there, so one there may chance of the heavy load voltage has been reversed back, given back to the source, so that time again it might be a chance of getting damage. And another, what will happen? So another state, it can retain its off state quickly, and so that it can be ready for the next on cycle. So you can see here with this diode, you can see here, and it has been reaching, and if it is not reaching 0 here, the load current increase, decrease. We know that during the positive half cycle the voltage is induced in the inductor. Now this induced voltage will change its polarity as the di by dt changes its sign, and diode df will start conducting. So that is when it returns the negative state, it will change its polarity, and the sufficient induced voltage is sufficient of magnitude, thereby enabling inductance to discharge and store energy into the resistance. So what is the role of the R now? It is having to diffuse that energy, whatever the thing. So hence after 180 degrees the load current will freewheel through the diode, and the reverse voltage will be across the thyristor. So this is the half. So whatever is there, it will not make it to 0 1 second. It is whatever is there, it will change its polarity, and during the negative cycle it will return here. Now the power flow from the input takes place away from the thyristor's conductor. If there is a no freewheel diode, the negative during the negative portion of the supply, the thyristor returns the energy stored in the load resistance to the supply line. With the diode here, the freewheeling action takes place and no power will be returned to the source. Hence, the ratio of the reactance power flow from the input to the total power consumed in the load is less for phase control circuit with the freewheeling diode. So there will be no return too much here. So it will not affect too much to the circuit back. In other words, the freewheeling diode improves the input power factor. Mathematically, EI by sine pi divided by sine EI is equals to less. Again, nothing but sine pi is less. So pi is less. The power factor cos pi is equals to 1. Hence, it is clear that freewheeling diode helps in improvement of the power factor of the system, so that whatever the negative, if anything negative voltage has been given here, it is trying to rectify and try to change the polarity there and make it utilize the, use it for the next half cycle. So if nothing, and here what is happening here, the conduction angle has been increased, another whatever the negative voltage and the negative current has been required that extra time, that will be utilized in the next half cycle, so that also the whatever the device it will be, it will be saved properly. And these are the references there, MD Singh and KB Kanchandani, the power electronics, the reference textbook for this topic, and also prescribed by the VTU, and Mohammad Rashid and L. Umanand are the other two additional references. Thank you.